Hello, this is Dr. Mike, and this morning we want to talk about their second lecture of week 2 and on the tone of your messages as you work in in your place of business, in your profession. One of the major things that I always talk about is the fact that when you do emails and text messages and things of that sort, you always realize that words on paper or words on a computer like that are lifeless. They don't have the inflections that you have from body language or from being able to read lips or see the expression on a person's face. And so it is cold and heartless for the most part. Whatever appears on paper appears much colder and much more harsh than they would seem. You can zip off something in haste or in a fit of anger or whatever, and you can do irreparable damage to another person and their feelings, of course, with you. And so that's why it's important for you to think about the tone when you're writing something. You don't have that same problem when you're face to face with someone. And so usually when you want to handle something of a very serious nature, it is beneficial for you to sit down with that person face to face and talk to them directly, because then they get the benefit of your body language and your inflection, and you can control how a person will take a message. We've all heard jokingly of people who broke up with their intended their fiance or whatever by means of email. That's considered to be the most heartless and cold thing that you probably could do. So you want to do things in a way, you want to do right things in the right way, and that is another very important thing for you to think about. This morning I want to we'll go to the slides and look at just a few things about this that we need to consider, and I think it will be helpful to you in your career. So basically, we do need to understand the channels through which we are going to send messages, and that they make sure they're positive, and do our very best to make sure that they convey what we consider to be important: emails, memos, business letters. And so I want to talk to you about how those things should be done and what you need to think about as you are preparing them. Positive messages will always have the following traits. Number one, they are routine and they're straightforward. You don't beat around the bush. You help workers conduct everyday business, give them the knowledge that they need to do well in the jobs that they're performing. They make up the bulk of workplace communications. And so that alone tells us just how important they are. And they require solid writing skills. And so it is vitally important. Don't think you can get by in the workplace without being, upgrading your writing skills. I harp about that all the time, about helping you learn to write better. That's always a goal. It's something we work on all of our lives, and there's no finish line. So you need to always be trying to write more concisely and without spelling errors. And again, I encourage you to get Grammarly.com to help you with that. So these positive messages that we want to share, there's a lot of ways that we can do that: through emails or memos or letters, or through social media, through blogs, through IMs and text messages. All of those are part of that. So let's think about business letters for just a moment. They are still the preferred channel for external communication in certain situations. We often send letters to different people, to our suppliers, to government agencies, to vendors, to customers, and we encourage feedback. We project a favorable image of the organization. We promote future business through the use of business letters. And may I say that when you send a business letter, you need to know how to format them and how to do them correctly so they look very nice. As we look at business letters, remember that they provide a permanent record. Those are used in court. They are kept in files. They're able to follow up on them. So it's very important to realize this is a permanent record. There are things that are confidential and formal in that letter that you don't divulge without certain permissions. They usually will go along with a contract explaining, what's included in the thing you're mailing. They explain terms, they share ideas, they negotiate agreements, they answer vendor questions, they maintain customer relations. All these things are important when it comes to a business letter. So you want to compose direct messages that make requests or that respond to inquiries online and offline. that deliver step-by-step instructions. All of these things come under the heading of needing a business letter. So basically, you want to also respond. You want to plan for direct requests when you're opening. You ask the most important question first and then express a polite command. Please answer the following questions. Avoid long explanations preceding the main idea. Get to the main idea of your letter. In the body, explain the request logically, courteously. Explain questions in numbered or bullet forms. Use open-ended questions. What steps are necessary instead of yes or no questions? Will she complete her contractual obligation, on time? Suggest reader benefits if possible. Well, how is this going to benefit you by responding to this ad? In closing, state specifically and courteously what action is being taken. Mention an end date if necessary. Provide a logical reasoning for that end date, and make it easy for the receiver to respond. You're going to meet people in all kinds of situations, and so it's important to give them the time to do that. So basically, in this letter here, there's several issues that this email is informing you I continue to receive disturbing reports. It's a great way to look at it. And then this is your command. Please draw up a outline appropriate. Always use the subject line, summarize the main idea. It's optional in letters, but it's still important. Use abbreviated style, omitting articles like A, N, and D. It's important. And then when you open, start directly by responding to the request with a summary statement. Deliver the information that the reader wants, and then announce good news. Do it, kind of promptly and get in and get out. A letter is not meant to be several pages long. Ideally, it would be about one page. So you want to do that very, very easily. And then, you go to the body of an email or a memo or a letter, explain the subject logically, use lists, tables, headings, bold or italics, all those things, but be consistent with them. If you're going to do bold headers, do it with bold headers. Don't do bold header one time, italics the next time. You want your letter to be pretty responsive. Many times in the workplace, you're going to be responding to customers online. You can start on the phone. Sometimes on the phone can provoke a firestorm, and emails are a little bit less personal, but you want to do it correctly. Be positive, be transparent, be honest, be timely, be helpful. All those things will help you with responding to email. And if you write, you always have an opening and a body and a close. And even in an email, it's helpful to do the same kind of thing, even though you're being brief. Also, try to avoid using texties and jargon and that kind of stuff that will hurt you. So basically, preparing temporary messages that make direct claims and voice complaints, you'll be doing some of that. Describe the complaint like you do with the others, and then address it in very concise terms. And I think that will be helpful. So basically, you want to be sure that you proof your messages and that you know what you're doing. You ought to have a writing plan for that adjustment, to what the changes that you're going to make, so that you can write, special messages that convey something like kindness or goodwill. There are 5 S's of goodwill: selfless, specific, sincere, spontaneous, and short. And that's probably true of most things. You want to keep it very, very short. And it's a great way to kind of express your thanks and your appreciation for the things that have been done for you. So I encourage you to do just that. And you will, I think you'll come out good. As you're working through Tuesday, be sure that you read the text, consider the things that we've talked about. And if I can be of any further help to you, please let me know. Thanks.